For my critical inquiry, I've decided on debates that relate to my major study, with the central theme of contemporaneity. There was one main area of discussion that emerged from my initial research: the redefinition of contemporaneity in the Global South. I would like to explore the relationship between indigeneity and globalization in the wake of post-colonialism, and how contemporaneity of art differs in developing countries when compared to the Western ideal. What is contemporaneity? In the simplest sense, it is the quality of art being of the present, addressing issues specific to that time. How do we relate past, present, and future? Can we define the present as a gap between them, or a bridge that is firmly founded in both? How do we judge it, and who is qualified to judge this? Though this is a universal idea, how does global art fit in when there's a very different context? Post-colonialism has initiated the reaffirmation of cultural identity in areas such as South America, Africa, and Asia. Due to this, there is a redefinition of indigeneity and Orientalism in this modern context. There are many alternative perspectives in global art practice in a post-Western society, which results in different kinds of modernity beginning to emerge due to globalization. In this interplay of global and local interpretations of contemporary art, we cannot oversee the Euro-American ideals of modernism. It will be interesting to explore the contemporary art coming out of the Global South, especially in the Asian and more specific Arabian region. Will it differ greatly from the Western counterparts, or will there be universal themes and patterns evident in the comparison? How do we define contemporaneity? To what extent can contemporary art interrelate with historical and cultural work without weakening its contemporaneity? How do the characteristics of contemporaneity vary outside of Western culture? Is contemporary art synonymous with Western ideas and styles, or can it be redefined by third world countries? Qiu Dixi is a contemporary Chinese artist. His work, copying Lanting Zhu 1,000 times, is the culmination of 7 years of repeating the same calligraphic text, which describes an important cultural event in China's history. Dixi distorts and deconstructs this narrative to play with the idea of time and the present. He believes that contemporaneity is not universal, as it is a disjunctive unit of present times. Grayson Perry is a contemporary British artist known for his ceramic pots and large tapestries. This particular artwork, titled My Pretty Little Art Career, is a glazed ceramic with an interesting reference. In response to a theory that Aboriginal Australians invented contemporary art, Perry had a controversial argument about whether they can even be labelled contemporary artists, as they are in essence creating ethnic items. He likens their style to the modernist movement of abstract expressionism, but asks, do they even have this art knowledge to make that association? He makes the point that art is art because the referential art scene judges it to be so. That is why artists like him will have a pretty little art career in a big ugly art world where the Aborigines have to fight to do the same. For my primary research, I have the opportunity to interview local contemporary artists to understand how they define contemporaneity in their context. In my secondary research, my methods will be mainly phenomenological, as the subject of my study is an intangible and unquantifiable one. I would undergo analytical studies of the relationship between historical and cultural work with contemporary art, which will lead to some predictive evaluation of the patterns evident. Exploring a variety of case studies of contemporary work from both developing countries and Euro-American countries will allow me 2 bodies of work to compare and contrast. A critical reflection on the research, analysis, and methodologies throughout this process will ensure that my study is coherent and continually evaluated for its significance and relevance to my major study.